Carl Jung, the player got played. They feel like a fool, and they can't find your energy anywhere. As Carl Jung once said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. In life, many people think they can play with your energy, manipulate your light, or take your kindness for granted, only to realize too late that what you carry is rare and cannot be replaced. On Spiritual Wisdom, we're diving into why those who tried to play the chosen ones often end up feeling like fools, lost without your unique presence. Have you ever experienced someone realizing your value only after you walked away? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your story. Let's step into today's journey of awareness, power, and self-respect. 1. The player got played. They thought they had the upper hand, that they could toy with your emotions, manipulate your kindness, and walk away untouched. But what they didn't realize until it was far too late was that they weren't dealing with ordinary energy. They were standing in the presence of a spiritually awakened being, someone chosen, someone rare. And when a chosen one walks away, they don't slam the door. They vanish with grace, with quiet power, leaving behind a silence so loud it echoes through the life of the one who tried to control them. The player got played, not by tricks or games, but by their own blindness to the sacredness of what they once had. Because you weren't just a source of affection or attention, you were a mirror to their emptiness, and your presence exposed the void they had been trying to fill with ego and validation. By the time they come to realize the truth, your energy is already gone, moved on, untouchable. And that realization is brutal, that no one else carries the same frequency, that no one else burns with the same light. They start searching for your reflection in others, chasing shadows, haunted by a spirit they didn't understand until it was no longer available. They thought they could leave and come back, but your kind doesn't orbit in cycles. You evolve, and your evolution is their reckoning. That emptiness they feel, that's the cost of mistaking sacred energy for something common. You were the spiritual anchor they never deserved, the soul who brought healing they never asked for, but deeply needed. And now that you're gone, they're not just missing a person. They're grieving the presence of something divine. This is the truth about spiritual awakening. It teaches you that your worth isn't dependent on being chosen by others. It lies in knowing you were never meant to be understood by the unready. Your empathy, your clarity, your resilience, these are gifts, not weaknesses. And while others might see your kindness as an invitation to exploit, the universe sees it as proof of your ascension. So let them feel the void. Let them sit with their own consequences. Because in the end, the one who walks away with inner peace is never the fool. The real game was never about power or control. It was about soul. And yours? Untouchable, radiant, unforgettable. Keep walking. Don't look back. The ones who underestimated you will come to realize that the energy they thought was replaceable was, in truth, their greatest loss. Let that be your silence, your closure, your power. And if this speaks to your soul, whisper it to the universe now. I am a chosen one, not to prove anything, but to remember who you are. 2. Divine intervention. Divine intervention doesn't always look like a miracle. It often looks like rejection, silence, or betrayal. But when you're a chosen one, you begin to understand that every painful departure is a sacred redirection. The person who thought they could manipulate you, drain your light, or take your kindness for weakness ended up outsmarting only themselves. At first, they may have felt powerful, in control, like they had the upper hand. But now they sit in silence, haunted by a loss they can't explain because they can't find your energy anywhere else. No imitation, no replacement, no new connection can replicate the frequency you radiate. Carl Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." And you, guided by spiritual wisdom, are becoming untouchable in your authenticity. Every time someone tried to play you, they unknowingly invited divine intervention into the game. This invisible intelligence steps in, reveals truth through discomfort, and forces you to see who people really are. It's not a punishment, it's a blessing in disguise. You were never meant to stay where you were tolerated. You were meant to grow where your light is honored. And now, while they try to replace the irreplaceable, you're being elevated into a season of alignment, healing, and spiritual expansion. Your energy is not common. It carries the wisdom of lifetimes, the vibration of truth, and the magnetism of a soul that's done the inner work. That's why they feel empty now. That's why nothing satisfies them. Because what they lost wasn't just a person, it was a divine experience. Spiritual awakening teaches you to see beyond appearances and recognize the lessons beneath the pain. You begin to thank the betrayal for setting you free. You begin to feel grateful for the silence because it taught you how loud your inner voice really is. And you realize that letting go was never about losing, it was about returning to yourself. Intelligence, in the language of the soul, means knowing that not everyone deserves access to your spirit. Those who underestimated you, who misjudged your softness as weakness, are now facing the echo of your absence. And while they spiral in confusion, you rise in clarity. This is not about proving your worth to anyone. It's about remembering it for yourself. It's about walking away, not because you're bitter, but because you're finally aware of your value. You don't need closure when you have wisdom. You don't need apologies when you have peace. You don't need to look back when you're being guided toward everything that is meant for you. The universe doesn't take people from your life to hurt you. It removes them to protect you from smallness, manipulation, and energetic misalignment. So trust the unraveling. Trust the loss. Trust the delay. Because behind it all is divine intelligence, orchestrating your transformation with precision. You're not just healing, you're evolving. You're not just letting go, you're making space. And you're not just surviving heartbreak, you're being called into a life where your spiritual intelligence, your rare aura, and your divine light are finally seen, respected, and celebrated. Your destiny is far too sacred to be delayed by anyone who couldn't recognize your brilliance. Have you ever had someone reveal their true intentions, only to realize it was the universe guiding you towards something better? Comment yes if you've experienced this awakening. Let's embrace this journey together and connect with those who truly value our light. 3. Lessons of loss and growth. They thought they had you figured out. To them, you were just another chapter in their game, another energy source to manipulate and discard once they got what they wanted. But what they didn't realize is that you were the entire story, an irreplaceable presence with a rare energetic signature that can't be duplicated. They saw your empathy as weakness, your patience as naivety, and your light as something they could consume at will. But the moment you walked away, something shifted. The silence you left behind began to echo louder than your presence ever did. They didn't just lose a person. They lost access to something sacred, your essence, your spiritual power, your unmatched vibrational field that only spiritual development can refine. And now, they sit in that empty space, looking for someone else to replace what they didn't value, only to discover that no one else compares. In the world of spirituality, this is the moment when the mirror breaks. Carl Jung's truth rings louder than ever. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Their unconscious choices have caught up to them, and what once felt like control now feels like regret. They remember the way you listened without judgment, the way your energy calmed the chaos within them, the way your presence brought clarity they could never quite name. But instead of nurturing that connection, they played games with it. They didn't see you. They only saw what they could extract. And now they're forced to see the truth. You were the only one in their life not trying to control them, not trying to use them, but to truly see them. And that's the very love they weren't ready for. Eckhart Tolle reminds us, where there is anger, there is always pain underneath. These people acted from unhealed wounds, from scarcity, from emotional survival. They hoped your energy would heal what they refused to face within themselves. But energy doesn't lie, and your soul wasn't designed to be a bandage for someone else's brokenness. You weren't sent into their life to fix them. You were a divine appointment, a wake-up call, a mirror of what healing looks like. And when they chose to manipulate rather than meet you, when they failed to honor the spiritual contract that your connection offered, they forfeited their seat in your future. As they search for that energy in others, they'll find emptiness, because what you carry isn't something that can be replicated. It's the result of years of spiritual growth, inner alignment, and sacred self-worth. Marianne Williamson once said, "Nothing liberates our greatness like the desire to help, the desire to serve." That's what made you different. You loved from your soul, not your wounds. You gave from overflow, not expectation. And they couldn't understand that kind of purity because they weren't ready to rise to your level. They couldn't mirror your light because they were still trapped in shadow. But you kept growing. You didn't beg to be seen. You became undeniable. You didn't seek closure. You became the closure. While they spiral in their own lessons, you've stepped into alignment with your highest self. Wayne Dyer's words echo through your journey. How people treat you is their karma. How you react is yours. And you reacted by rising, by choosing peace, by protecting your energy. You've entered a new timeline, one where only those who are emotionally and spiritually equipped can access you. That's not arrogance, it's evolution. That's not pride, it's sacred discernment. And now, your life reflects the truth. When you stop trying to prove your worth, the universe sends people who never question it. 4. Breaking the manipulation cycle. Manipulation is a twisted cycle that can feel nearly impossible to escape, especially when disguised by charm and subtle deceit. Those walking a spiritual path, or the chosen ones, are often drawn into this cycle, not due to weakness, but because manipulators target genuine, compassionate spirits. Manipulators follow a predictable pattern. They draw in others with promises and affection, then gradually withdraw, creating a dynamic where the chosen one is left chasing validation. This back-and-forth behavior doesn't just wear one out physically, but drains spiritual energy, eroding self-worth and shifting focus from self-growth to seeking their approval. For the chosen ones, however, the key to breaking free lies in understanding the manipulation cycle itself. Seeing the full picture allows for stepping off the manipulator's game board. Manipulators gain a sense of control by making you question your reality and by feeding off your reactions and vulnerabilities. But here's the truth. No matter how hard they try, they cannot replicate the energy you carry. That unique, authentic frequency is beyond their reach. And once you withdraw your energy, they'll feel a void they can't fill anywhere else. This awareness becomes your strength. The moment you realize their behavior is a tactic, you can reclaim your power by embracing your worth without their validation. In modern life, manipulation often blends into social media interactions and digital spaces, where people craft carefully curated versions of themselves. This can be especially challenging for chosen ones, who genuinely seek honesty and connection. Prioritizing your spiritual journey shields you from these illusions. By focusing on self-awareness and emotional resilience, you remove the very fuel manipulators need. You find a sense of calm as the charm that once captivated you loses its hold, and their energy begins to feel hollow. True spirituality becomes your armor. It centers you, making you immune to external validation or control. Embrace your journey with clarity and courage. Recognize that genuine connections arise when you stay true to your own values and energy. Manipulators may try to take a piece of your uniqueness, but the strength of your spirit is untouchable. Let your wisdom and inner peace guide you, knowing that your energy will attract those who respect and cherish your soul. 5. Karmic justice. When you step into your true powerful self, fully embracing your spiritual awakening, those who tried to manipulate and play you are now facing the consequences of their own actions. Life has a way of balancing things out, and this karmic retribution brings every choice full circle. Those who planted seeds of deception and manipulation are now reaping regret and emptiness, realizing they can't replicate the unique energy you brought into their lives. They feel the loss because your authentic vibe, grounded in truth and spiritual alignment, is irreplaceable. You've elevated yourself to a place where superficial games no longer affect you. With your awakened perspective, you attract only what resonates with your spirit, and this genuine energy cannot be faked. Now, they feel foolish for underestimating you, watching you rise as they stumble. They may search for connections to fill the void left by your absence, but nothing quite compares to the light they tried to dim. This is divine justice in action. You're protected, and any harm sent your way returns to its sender. The universe ensures that what's meant for you cannot be taken, that every experience has a purpose, and that every setback sets you up for something greater. Stay focused on your path, nurturing your soul, and let your growth speak for itself. In this journey of spiritual awakening, Trust that those who truly resonate with you will come without games, honoring your worth and uplifting you along the way. If this resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments. Not sure what to comment? Just type, "I reclaim my power," to let me know you watched until the end. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more insights to strengthen your journey. 6. Irreplaceable energy. Losing the energy of a chosen one creates a shift that people rarely see coming, leaving those who once overlooked or played games with you feeling like they've lost something irreplaceable. Your essence, a spiritual and resilient force, was never ordinary, and while they may have taken it for granted, now they're left realizing how valuable it was. When they can't find that energy anywhere else, they're forced to confront their actions and understand that no amount of control or manipulation can replicate genuine connection. They thought they held the power, but true power lies in being authentic, in embracing a spirit so unique that it can't be imitated or replaced. This shift reminds them of the words of Rumi, "Do not be satisfied with the stories that come before you." Unfold your own myth. Without your presence, they now feel lost, trying to fill a void that can't be filled by anyone else. As they search in vain, they're haunted by the realization that the very energy they tried to control was the one grounding and elevating them. For you, this isn't just about moving on, but stepping into your power, embodying a wisdom that knows when to walk away from those who can't honor your worth. Your spiritual journey calls you to protect your energy, to recognize your own value, and to stop settling for those who only want to drain or diminish you. As Gandhi once said, "First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win." This journey teaches the chosen ones to stand firm, knowing that validation is not needed from those who can't see your light. 7. Liberation through disconnection. The journey of the chosen one is often marked by moments of intense transformation, where they must confront and release attachments that have held them back, especially those who have taken advantage of their kindness or tried to manipulate them. This phase of disconnection represents a profound liberation where you, as a chosen one, finally recognize that certain people were only drawing on your energy for their own gain. It's as if a veil lifts, revealing the truth that some relationships were never meant to be a mutual exchange of support, but rather a test of your resilience and an invitation to grow beyond shallow connections. When you step away, breaking free from those who took you for granted, they're left to realize that your energy was a unique gift, something they'll never replicate or find again. This liberation is like emerging from a fog, a true spiritual awakening where the chains of dependency fall away, leaving you with a sense of clarity and renewed purpose. The path of a chosen one is not about bending to others' desires. It's about aligning with your deeper calling, the one that leads to true peace and fulfillment. As you disconnect, you understand the immense power in solitude, a space where you can connect deeply with your spirit, free from the noise of those who only took without giving. This shift doesn't just free you, it empowers you, making you more resilient and spiritually aligned. Those who once misused your kindness are left feeling foolish, unable to find or recreate the energy they once depended on. In today's world, it's easy to get caught in relationships that drain rather than uplift. where people try to control or mold you to serve their agendas. But true freedom is in recognizing that disconnection from these influences is essential for your spiritual well-being. The chosen ones, those who seek a higher purpose and align with it, understand that sometimes solitude is more nourishing than shallow company. By prioritizing your own energy and spirituality, you elevate your life to a level that few can truly understand or appreciate. This disconnection isn't about isolation. It's about self-respect and the courage to walk away from anything that dims your light. Your energy is a reflection of your journey, your trials, and your growth. And once you honor that, those who once doubted you, who tried to play you, will realize they can never find that same light anywhere else. Embrace this power of disconnection as a declaration of self-worth and spiritual resilience, knowing that in letting go, you are not losing, but rather gaining the freedom to walk your path with confidence and integrity. This journey is about welcoming a life of authenticity, peace, and unshakable strength that comes from being true to yourself. Moving forward, free from influences that once held you down, you'll find that your energy not only transforms your own life, but also serves as a beacon for others on their own paths of awakening and empowerment. Your energy is irreplaceable, and those who once took it for granted will be left searching, realizing too late that they missed out on a light they'll never encounter again. Embrace your spirituality and walk forward confidently. You're not losing by disconnecting. You're gaining the freedom to be who you were truly meant to be. If you're still here and resonating with this journey of stepping into your true power, drop a yes in the comments to affirm your commitment to protect your energy and honor your unique light. Let's walk this path together, embracing the strength that comes from knowing your worth and choosing authenticity. 8. Season of abundance. The journey of a chosen one is filled with moments of deep spiritual awakening and self-discovery, but it's also marked by a separation from energies that no longer serve them. You've stepped away from people and situations that once drained you, and as a result, a powerful transformation is unfolding in your life. This is your time of growth, your season of abundance, where new opportunities flow to you effortlessly, all because you freed yourself from the weight of negativity. Those who tried to play you, to take advantage of your kindness and your light, now realize they misjudged your strength and resilience. They feel the void of your presence. They feel like fools because they thought they could find your energy elsewhere. But what they missed is that your energy is unique, unmatched, a rare frequency born from a genuine, awakened spirit. Now, as they wander through relationships and experiences that feel hollow and unfulfilling, you're moving toward blessings beyond what you once imagined. This new path isn't just about attracting what you desire. It's about recognizing the value you bring and understanding the peace that comes with letting go of what doesn't align with your highest self. People see the changes in you. They feel the shift. It's undeniable. The ones who underestimated you now look on with envy, realizing that while they tried to dim your light, all they did was prepare you for a greater, more authentic journey. And as you continue down this road of spiritual awakening, you're not just healing, you're growing, becoming more attuned to your true calling and opening doors to realms of abundance, wisdom, and peace. This is the reward of the chosen, the freedom to move forward unbound, to attract blessings aligned with your purpose, and to inspire others to seek out their own paths with courage and authenticity. Remember, the strength you now possess wasn't given. It was earned through your resilience, through every trial and every moment you choose to rise above. You are proof that sometimes the best revenge is simply moving forward with grace, leaving behind what no longer resonates with your spirit. This is your time to shine, to be unapologetically yourself, and to live in alignment with the energies that uplift and support you. Embrace this new season of growth with an open heart, knowing that abundance is your birthright, and know that the universe rewards those who stay true to their path. You're the example of what it means to be awakened, to be free from the grasp of negativity, and to live a life that inspires others. So keep moving forward, knowing that everything meant for you is on its way, drawn to the light only you possess. Comment below, "I am stepping into my true power," if you're ready to embrace this season of growth, abundance, and freedom. Let your journey inspire others, and remember, the universe rewards those who stay true to their path. Like, subscribe, and join our community for more empowering content. 9. Closure and self-love. Have you ever been in a situation where you poured your heart and soul into someone, only to later realize that they took you for granted? And now, as you stand tall in your power and peace, they feel like a fool because they lost something priceless: your unique energy, your rare light. Yes, they may have thought they were the player, but the truth is, the player got played. And here's what's beautiful about this moment, this realization. Your journey is about discovering your strength, your inner clarity, and recognizing that not everyone deserves your energy. Spirituality teaches us that every experience, even the painful ones, shapes us and guides us toward the path we're meant to walk. You are the chosen one, and that's not by accident. Think about this. Why do people gravitate toward you, even when they don't always honor you? Perhaps it's because your spirit radiates something they crave, but can't define a wholeness they lack within themselves. Reflect on how this experience has led to your complete closure. A closure that feels different because it isn't just a goodbye. It's a protective barrier, a shield against those who would misuse your kindness and take your energy lightly. As the saying goes, when one door closes, another opens. But let me ask you this. What if that closed door wasn't a loss, but a safeguard for your growth? You've done the work. You've healed, reflected, and risen stronger. And now, you've sealed this chapter so well that those old, manipulative energies can't even find their way back to you. Isn't that liberating? The universe is urging you to move forward securely, free from any toxic remnants. As Ralph Waldo Emerson said, the only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. You are stepping into that destiny by choosing yourself, by realizing your worth. Imagine this. Someone who thought they could come and go from your life now feels an absence so strong that it unsettles them. They search for your energy in places and people who simply can't match it. Why? Because energy is unique. It's a fingerprint of the soul, and yours is one of a kind. Just as a rare gem can't be found everywhere, neither can your spirit. Isn't that what makes this journey powerful? Spirituality reminds us that not everyone is meant to stay in our lives forever. Some come as teachers, others as lessons. You've learned, grown, and now it's time for others to see what they've lost. But the beauty is that you're not lost. You've moved forward, embracing your higher self. As Buddha said, you, yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. You, the chosen one, carry a light that's meant to heal, uplift, and inspire, not to be dimmed or misused by others. Your spiritual journey is about learning how to guard that light, to nurture it in ways that bring you joy and fulfillment. Closure is a form of spiritual armor, and it's one that doesn't let negativity seep back in. They might feel like a fool now, realizing what they've lost, but that's their journey, their lesson. Yours is to keep moving forward with clarity and strength, fully grounded in who you are. So, as you step forward, remember this: you're not leaving anything valuable behind. What you're doing is making space for something new, something that aligns with the energy and peace you've created. 10. Renewal and destiny. In life, there are times when others fail to see your worth, moments when they think they can play you, only to find out too late that they miscalculated. The energy you carry is unique, deep, and irreplaceable. And as the chosen ones who embrace spirituality, you possess a strength and purpose that sets you apart. When people who thought they could manipulate or control you realize they can't find your energy elsewhere, they often feel like fools, faced with the void left by your absence. But this isn't about revenge or proving them wrong. It's about understanding your path and purpose. November brings an opportunity for renewal, a fresh start that is aligned with abundance and transformation. You are stepping into a season where those games and the people who played them no longer matter. Each setback has taught you resilience. Every challenge has honed your strength, and now you're ready to rise above, grounded in your spiritual power. This month, embrace that growth and recognize that your journey isn't about winning or losing against others. It's about fulfilling your destiny. As you let go of the past, you're opening the door to a future filled with people and opportunities that resonate with your authentic energy. This is your time to walk with purpose, knowing that your spiritual path leads to deeper fulfillment, abundance, and a kind of wisdom that those who underestimated you may never understand. Let November be a testament to your strength and transformation, a reminder that those who couldn't see your worth never had the right to hold your energy. This is your season to embrace who you truly are, empowered and unstoppable. And so, the truth remains hidden yet powerful. When the player thinks they've won, they often discover too late that they've only lost themselves. Your energy, your light, your presence, these are treasures that can't be imitated or replaced. Thank you for joining us today on Spiritual Wisdom. If this message spoke to you, don't forget to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to the channel. And make sure to turn on notifications so you never miss our upcoming videos, where we continue exploring Carl Jung's timeless insights and the deeper journey of the soul. Carl Jung warned us, alignment isn't just spiritual, it's quantum. Albert Einstein once said, everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. What if the alignment you've been searching for in your life isn't just about spirituality, but something far deeper, something quantum? In this video from Spiritual Wisdom, we'll explore Carl Jung's warning that alignment isn't only spiritual, It's a force that shapes reality itself. Imagine applying this principle to your daily choices, your relationships, and your growth. How would your life transform if every thought and action resonated in perfect coherence with who you truly are? As you listen, I'd love to hear from you. Do you believe your alignment has already been guiding your destiny? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because your perspective might inspire someone else on their journey of spiritual awakening. 1. Coherence is the true force behind manifestation, not just intention or emotion. The force behind true manifestation isn't just emotion or intention, it's coherence. And not just any coherence, but quantum coherence, where your thoughts, feelings, words, and actions are all flowing from the same energetic frequency. In spiritual awakening, many seek to manifest love, success, or peace through visualization, affirmations, or emotional alignment, yet still feel blocked. That's because wanting something and being in alignment with it are two different things. You can visualize abundance while still carrying the unconscious belief that you're unworthy. You can speak love while fearing intimacy. These contradictions collapse the quantum wave before it ever becomes reality. The field does not deliver based on your wishes. It responds to your coherence. When every part of your being vibrates in harmony, reality bends effortlessly to meet you. Carl Jung understood this long before quantum physics became mainstream. He warned that what remains unconscious will continue to govern your life until you bring it into awareness. Coherence, then, begins as an act of radical self-honesty. It requires you to stop performing for others, to stop saying yes when your body says no, to stop pursuing goals that your soul no longer resonates with. It's not just spiritual alignment, it's energetic integrity. And that integrity cannot be faked. The universe reads vibration, not intention. Incoherence sounds like noise. Coherence sings like a tuning fork that reshapes the environment around it. When you're coherent, life doesn't feel forced. Synchronicities unfold naturally. You don't chase alignment, you become the alignment. This is why people with seemingly less effort can magnetize incredible opportunities, while others with more knowledge, more action, more hustle remain stuck. They aren't working harder, they're just clearer. Coherence is clarity. Coherence is when your nervous system, your beliefs, your language, and your actions are all synchronized. It's when your morning prayers match your evening habits, when your outer words mirror your inner truth, when your decisions don't betray your intuition. This is not just quantum mechanics, it's deep spiritual wisdom. To live in coherence is to walk as one undivided self. This is what awakens your true magnetic power. And in modern life, this matters more than ever. We live in an age of noise, performance, and distraction. But spiritual growth now demands internal precision. Begin with breath. Let your breath remind your mind to soften, your body to listen, and your spirit to lead. Clean up the small fractures, gossip that contradicts your peace, habits that blur your focus, relationships that destabilize your truth. These tiny misalignments, when repeated, create energetic chaos. But the opposite is also true. Small, aligned actions done consistently can restore coherence and trigger rapid shifts. You don't need to force the universe. You need to harmonize with it. So if your manifestation practice feels stagnant, stop asking for more and start aligning deeper. Alignment isn't just spiritual, it's quantum. And coherence is not a luxury for monks. or mystics. It is the most practical, grounded, and necessary foundation for anyone serious about transformation. The clearer your field, the faster reality reflects it. That is the hidden law behind the law of attraction. You were never blocked by lack of desire. You were just waiting for your energy to finally agree with itself. Comment below, "I align with coherence," if you're ready to move beyond emotion and intention and step into the quantum power behind real manifestation. 2. You've been using coherence all along without knowing it. You've been using coherence all along without realizing it. And that's the very reason why some moments in your life have felt almost magical, effortless, synchronized, divinely timed. These weren't coincidences or luck. They were signals of energetic harmony between your inner frequency and the quantum field around you. What you once labeled as good timing or a sign from the universe was, in fact, a reflection of coherence, the hidden order that organizes reality when your thoughts, emotions, and energy are in alignment. Carl Jung reminded us that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. And this is exactly how coherence has been guiding you silently, without a name, until now. You weren't lost, broken, or behind. You simply didn't yet have the language to describe the spiritual intelligence already moving through you. Coherence is what makes manifestation real, what breathes life into intentions, and what turns spirituality into a living, breathing force in your everyday experience. It's not about being in control of every outcome, but about being energetically aligned so that life responds to you, not out of chaos, but clarity. When you felt at peace and everything clicked into place, that was coherence. When the right people appeared, when the words you needed arrived, when a door opened without you forcing it, that was coherence. It's not something mystical floating outside of you. It's something you've already experienced and likely dismissed as coincidence. But the truth is, your most aligned moments were quantum moments. Your energy was so synchronized with your truth that reality had no choice but to reflect it. And yet, the opposite is also true. When you felt stuck, anxious, or like life was resisting you, that wasn't failure. It was feedback. It was the universe showing you that your signal was blurred, that something internal was out of sync. The quantum field doesn't respond to words or wishes. It responds to coherence. It doesn't reward hustle. It mirrors alignment. And that's why your spiritual development is not just emotional work. It's energetic calibration. Every spiritual practice, meditation, breathwork, prayer, self-reflection is tuning your frequency. Each act of self-awareness is strengthening the signal you're sending into the field. You are not here to fight for your manifestations. You're here to resonate with them. Spirituality is the art of learning how to stay in tune with the rhythm of your own soul so that your external life begins to match your internal truth. When you finally understand that the universe responds to your state of being more than your words or effort, you stop chasing outcomes and start aligning with energy. You stop begging for clarity and start becoming it. Coherence has always been your secret power, the reason your life flowed when you felt most like yourself, and the reason things broke down when you were disconnected. Now that you know its name, your spiritual awakening becomes your activation. Coherence is not a reward for being spiritual. It is the result of being energetically honest. When your heart, mind, and spirit speak the same language, reality listens. 3. Coherence is not created, it's recognized. You've been misled into believing that coherence is something you must earn, master, or fabricate through discipline or technique. But coherence isn't a destination. It's your origin. It isn't created. It's remembered. Carl Jung warned us that the more you chase external alignment, the more you deepen your internal split. Because the act of trying assumes you are separate from the very thing you seek. But here's the truth. You are not a fragmented being in search of wholeness. You are the quantum field itself, consciousness appearing as form, pretending to forget, only to remember again. Coherence, in both spiritual wisdom and quantum intelligence, is not the outcome of perfection. It's the signal of presence. Just as in quantum physics, when waves become coherent, they don't cancel each other. They amplify. When your inner world becomes coherent, when your thoughts, emotions, intentions, and actions move in resonance, you stop chasing and start radiating. You stop surviving and start transmitting. This is the subtle, sacred shift where manifestation becomes magnetic, not mechanical. Your energy no longer leaks in 1,000 directions because it knows who it is. The illusion is that healing or transformation begins by adding more. But real coherence begins when you strip away the noise and remember you are already aligned at your core. You're not meant to force your way into peace. You're meant to stop arguing with the part of you that already is peace. The soul doesn't speak in effort. It speaks in knowing. And that knowledge says, you are not becoming coherent. You are coherence, veiled only by the story that says you're not enough yet. Carl Jung called this individuation the journey of becoming whole by embracing all the parts of yourself you once abandoned. He reminded us that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. This is not just psychology, it's quantum law. When your unconscious beliefs, hidden traumas, and fragmented identities remain unexamined, they collapse your field. But the moment you begin to remember the truth through silence, through stillness, through surrender, you re-enter coherence, not by force, but by frequency. And it's here, in this field of inner harmony, that reality begins to bend. Not because you manipulated it, but because you matched it. When you remember that you are the wave and the watcher, the field and the form, the prayer and the proof, you stop trying to fix your life and start allowing your life to respond to your frequency. This is the quantum alignment Carl Jung pointed toward, where your outer life begins to mirror the order and clarity of your inner one. Not through striving, but through remembering. Not through doing more, but by finally becoming still enough to recognize the truth that has never left you. Don't forget to subscribe for more spiritual wisdom on how coherence shapes reality. Because alignment isn't something you create, it's something you remember. 4. Confusion, resistance, and delay are also coherence in disguise. What feels like failure is often not failure at all. It is coherence disguised as fragmentation, a spiritual intelligence choosing to wear the costume of confusion so that you may grow beyond surface-level awareness. In the realm of spiritual awakening, even the moments you label as resistance, misalignment, or delay are orchestrated by a deeper coherence that understands your becoming better than your ego ever could. Carl Jung reminded us that In all chaos, there is a cosmos, and this is exactly what's at play when your manifestations stall, your intentions feel stuck, or your energy begins to waver. It's not that you're broken, it's that your soul is exploring wholeness from the perspective of separation. So you may integrate not just the light, but the shadow too. Struggle is not spiritual punishment. It is a mirror of how divine intelligence refines your frequency. Coherence isn't always soft or obvious. Sometimes it shakes the ground beneath you to realign what you thought you needed with what your soul actually came here to express. This is duality, not dysfunction. The universe doesn't operate on the timeline of your fear. It flows with the rhythm of your highest expansion. What feels like resistance is often your energy saying, "I'm not ready to move yet. I'm still remembering who I am." And so the delay is not a denial, it is coherence, sacredly stretching you into your next level of clarity. Even confusion has its place in the sacred spiral. When everything seems to contradict itself, that's when the most profound intelligence is at work. Coherence doesn't mean everything looks perfect. It means everything is serving a purpose, even if that purpose is invisible in the moment. This is where spiritual maturity is born, not from controlling the outcome, but from trusting that the incoherent parts are actually initiating you into alignment beyond the mind's understanding. That is why, in spirituality, true growth doesn't happen in the manifestation. It happens in the stillness between what was asked and what is received. To walk this path is to embrace the paradox. Coherence is not the absence of contrast, but the sacred presence within contrast. When you begin to recognize your own patterns of resistance as clues rather than flaws, when you stop shaming the delay and start decoding it, that's when your awakening deepens. The quantum field doesn't reward speed. It responds to resonance. And resonance is built in the dark, in the silent space where your soul learns to trust what cannot yet be seen. That's where the true alchemy unfolds, not in the certainty, but in the surrender. What looks like stagnation may be the pause before the quantum leap. What feels like fragmentation may be your frequency remembering how to hold a more complex truth. And what you once called failure may, in time, reveal itself as the most intelligent coherence of all. 5. Coherence instantly reshapes reality. When coherence is not forced, but recognized as a natural inner state, reality bends to meet you with ease. You stop chasing time, and time begins to serve you. It stretches in moments of purpose and contracts in moments of presence. Decisions that once felt foggy become crystal clear. Emotions that used to overwhelm now stabilize and even shift the energy of the room. Your very being starts to emit a frequency that organizes your environment without needing control or effort. Carl Jung once warned us that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. But when you enter coherence, fate is no longer an accident. It becomes an extension of your clarity. This is where spirituality meets the intelligence of the quantum field. You start to notice that people respond differently, not because they've changed, but because you are no longer incoherent within. Your energy becomes precise, stable, undeniable. You walk into a space and shift the emotional climate, not through words, but through the silent force of alignment. Coherence is not a soft spiritual idea. It's the most precise signal you can send into the field of reality. Your thoughts, feelings, and actions become one seamless flow. And this unity emits a wave of spiritual intelligence that affects everything. When your internal world is in order, your external world obeys. The delays you once experienced dissolve. The confusion you once carried evaporates. Even your relationships begin to self-correct. You're no longer reacting, you're creating. This is the gift of coherence, the ability to step out of resistance and into resonance with the life that is already yours in potential form. In this space, spiritual development is no longer a practice you reach for. It's the default rhythm of your being. Coherence is not perfection, it's presence. It's when every part of you finally agrees to stop resisting the truth and starts embodying it fully. 6. Symptoms of stabilized coherence. You start to notice something shifting, not just in your thoughts, but in the very structure of your reality. Synchronicities no longer feel like random events. They arrive with precise timing, as if life itself is whispering secrets to you through symbols, numbers, and encounters. Carl Jung called this the unconscious becoming conscious. And when coherence stabilizes in your energy field, those once unexplainable moments begin to form a tapestry of divine order. You no longer chase signs, they arrive before you ask. What once felt like coincidence now feels like confirmation from the quantum intelligence that governs all things. And this is only the beginning. Decision-making transforms into a state of effortless knowing. You don't overthink, you simply know. Your intuition becomes your primary GPS, and it's terrifyingly accurate. You find yourself in the right place, at the right time, with the right words, even when you don't plan. Creativity no longer requires force or discipline. It pours through you like a divine stream, as if something greater has taken the wheel. You're no longer the sole author of your ideas. You're a co-creator with an invisible intelligence that guides your expression with grace and precision. This is what spiritual wisdom looks like when it enters the quantum dimension. Time bends. Space responds. Delays disappear. People reschedule to accommodate your flow. Tasks align effortlessly. The outer world starts reflecting your inner alignment in ways that defy logic. The physical world doesn't feel fixed anymore. It's malleable, alive, cooperative. Coherence becomes the language through which the universe reshapes reality around your frequency. You realize you've stopped forcing things, and yet everything begins to move in your favor. Resistance fades. Synchronicity expands. Spirituality becomes embodied intelligence, and wisdom becomes lived experience. Your body follows this alignment. Health begins to improve, not just physically, but energetically. Fatigue lessens, stress melts, breath deepens. You're no longer in survival mode. You're operating from flow. The nervous system stabilizes, and emotions begin to harmonize. Energy no longer leaks through anxiety, confusion, or overgiving. You move through your day with calm alertness, the kind of centered power that doesn't need to prove itself. You're plugged into your own life force again, and it shows. Suddenly, money comes without desperation. Opportunities arrive before effort. You don't chase abundance, it lands naturally in your lap. This is not magic, it's alignment. It's quantum coherence responding to your internal architecture. When you stop forcing and start flowing, the universe mirrors that frequency back to you in the form of resources, allies, and yes, even miracles. Your relationships shift too. Chaos dissolves. Emotional warfare ends, and people who don't resonate fall away on their own. You attract those who match your evolution, not your old wounds. And then, perhaps most beautifully of all, the existential questions vanish. You no longer obsess over purpose, timing, or meaning. Life itself becomes meaningful without explanation. You're not waiting for things to happen. You're already inside the happening. The present moment becomes enough. You wake up, not in fear, but in deep reverence for the now. You don't need to control it, label it, or predict it. You just trust it. Because you've learned the truth. When coherence stabilizes, life doesn't just get better, it becomes sacred. Have you ever experienced a moment so aligned that reality shifted instantly? If yes, share your story in the comments so others can learn from your coherence. If not yet, comment, "I will recognize coherence," and begin noticing the power already shaping your life. 7. Coherence transforms not just you, but the collective. When you access coherence, you don't just transform your inner world. You become a living transmitter that silently impacts everyone around you. Your energy field turns into a tuning fork for others, not by intention, but by the natural frequency of your presence. Carl Jung once said, "You are what you do, not what you say you'll do." And in the realm of spirituality, this means your coherence speaks louder than your words ever could. You don't need to teach, convince, or explain. Your mere presence anchored, calm, and integrated activates dormant awareness in others. It's not about being the loudest voice in the room. It's about being the clearest signal in a chaotic frequency band. And in that clarity, others begin to harmonize. Spiritual awakening is not a solo journey. It is a shared frequency, an unfolding of consciousness that accelerates when one soul remembers, and that remembrance echoes silently into the collective. You don't have to try to influence others. Your inner alignment does the work for you. This silent impact is not random. It's part of a greater phase transition happening in the collective psyche. In quantum physics, a phase shift occurs when a system reaches a tipping point suddenly. Everything reorganizes into a new pattern. Humanity is approaching that threshold. As more people come into coherence, we move toward a spontaneous reordering of our shared consciousness. This is why your individual work matters more than you know. Your coherence is not isolated. It contributes to the grid, to the invisible architecture of awakening. When you choose internal stillness over reactivity, self-trust over external validation, presence over performance, you are changing the field for everyone. That's not metaphorical. It's an energetic fact. Carl Jung warned us that the unconscious of the individual is inseparable from the collective. When you shift your unconscious, you participate in the transformation of the world's unconscious. That's the quantum truth. Alignment isn't just spiritual. It's foundational to the evolution of humanity. In modern life, coherence is rare. Most people are fragmented, chasing validation, numbing discomfort, or performing identities. But when you show up as someone who has nothing to prove and nothing to hide, your frequency disrupts the illusion. Your energy becomes a mirror, reflecting what's real and exposing what's not. You become the calm center others didn't know they were looking for. And in that stillness, people feel safe enough to let their guard down and hear the voice of their own soul. That is the sacred service of your presence, not to guide with force, but to embody with truth. True spiritual wisdom doesn't shout, it resonates. And the more you align with coherence, the more your life becomes a tuning instrument that lifts others, heals others, and gently awakens them. Your very being becomes medicine. In a world addicted to noise, coherence is the most intelligent rebellion. 8. You are consciousness, remembering itself. You're not simply a person becoming more spiritual. You are the universe awakening through the unique experience of your human form. Every thought, every feeling, every moment of struggle and clarity is the cosmos remembering itself through you. Carl Jung reminded us that who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens. And your awakening is not about chasing something new. It's about recognizing what's always been within. Your existence is not a climb toward perfection, but a deep return to what's already whole. The belief that you're not there yet is the final illusion, the veil that convinces you to keep striving for something that you already are. Spiritual development is not self-improvement, it's self-remembrance. It's not about becoming more. It's about releasing what never belonged to you in the first place. In a world obsessed with achievement, we're conditioned to believe we must earn our worth, ascend some invisible ladder, or accumulate spiritual knowledge to finally feel aligned. But alignment is not earned, it's remembered. You don't need to become light. You are the light. You are the stillness beneath the chaos, the knowing beneath the noise, the presence behind the personality. This is not a metaphor. It is spiritual reality. The more you try to fix yourself, the more you forget that your wholeness has never been lost, only covered. The pressure to arrive somewhere spiritually advanced is just another ego trap. The soul isn't in a race. It's in a rhythm, one that unfolds in divine timing, through divine intelligence. Your journey is not linear. It's sacred, spiraling, intimate. Each moment of doubt is a doorway. Each heartbreak is a mirror. Each pause in your life is the pulse of the universe recalibrating itself through you. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not late. You are exactly where you're supposed to be, learning exactly what you need to remember, that you are consciousness itself. The truth is not that you must become awakened. The truth is that you are awakening, breath by breath, moment by moment, simply by allowing the idea of not enough to fall away. Spirituality isn't about becoming divine. It's about realizing you've never been anything else. When you stop running, when you stop striving, when you simply sit with the truth that you are the universe made visible, then the illusion of separation dissolves, and what's left is peace. 9. Stop seeking. Start recognizing. Stop seeking. Start remembering. Because what you've been chasing has always been hidden in plain sight. Carl Jung said, "Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes." And in that one sentence, he captured the quantum paradox. The more we look for alignment in the external world, the more we amplify the illusion of disconnection. Coherence. True coherence is not a reward for doing more or getting better at techniques. It's the natural consequence of becoming internally whole. It emerges when your thoughts, emotions, nervous system, and energy field begin vibrating in unison. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. When your internal state stabilizes into alignment, the quantum field no longer mirrors back your wounds or fears it reflects your essence. This is the hidden intelligence of spiritual wisdom. Every time you've thought you needed to fix something, manifest harder, or clear more blocks, you've unknowingly reinforced the belief that you were separate from the thing you desired. But the quantum field doesn't respond to want, it responds to coherence. It listens not to your words, but to your energetic tone. That's why some manifestations show up effortlessly and others never arrive. It's not about discipline or strategy. It's about energetic truth. When you radiate contradiction, life delays. When you radiate clarity, life accelerates. This is not spiritual poetry. It's quantum mechanics in motion. Energy flows where coherence lives. Carl Jung warned us that the unconscious will rule our lives until we make it conscious. This isn't a metaphor. It's energetic law. If your subconscious believes you're unworthy, no amount of affirmation will override that signal. If your nervous system is dysregulated, your rituals are just coping mechanisms. This is why spiritual awakening can feel more like a breakdown than a breakthrough, because it's not about ascending above reality. It's about becoming radically honest with it. The pain of awakening is simply the moment you realize you've been seeking something you already are. The relief comes when you stop identifying with the seeker and begin embodying the source. The highest timeline is not somewhere in the distance. It's the version of you that no longer contradicts your own light. It's not about getting more. It's about resisting less. When you release the energetic tension of trying to become, you remember that you already are. Coherence doesn't require perfection. It requires congruence. Your desires don't need justification. They need alignment. The more you harmonize with your own energy, the less the world can distract you from it. And in that stillness, the quantum field organizes around your presence like gravity around a star. You don't chase love. You stabilize in it. You don't attract abundance. You are the frequency of it. Coherence isn't something you do. It's who you become when you stop forgetting. And so, while the full message remains hidden, one truth is clear. Alignment is more than a spiritual practice. It is a quantum reality shaping every step of your life. If this message resonated with you, make sure to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming videos as we continue exploring the mysteries of Carl Jung, spirituality, and the quantum dimension of your soul's journey.